you know that feeling you get when you know that big things are underway for you? So you sense it, and you know that feeling that you get from time to time when it's more than a sensing, it's a knowing, and you know that feeling that you have when you get an idea about something, just that flash of an idea about something. So that's the receptive mode that we want to turn your undivided, just for a moment, attention to. So when you get into that receptive mode, which you do often, and then you allow yourself to just follow it out. You can feel the on the brinkness of something. You can feel that it's ready to pop, but you can't quite see it yet. And what we want you to do is to try to be satisfied with the knowledge that if I can feel it, that then I will soon see it. You've just got to find some way of soothing yourself, that since I can feel it, therefore it must be. And if you can accomplish that, you've got it going on. Your desire and your belief are in close enough proximity that things are ready to pop for you. But it's that impatience that is slowing it down. It's that feeling that you need to be doing something differently than what you're doing. And it isn't the doing, it's the expecting. So can you give us examples of things that have been unfolding for you? Have you witnessed any evidence of things manifesting that you have once dreamed of? Or have you just dreamed your first dream? So you could be in the receptive mode of what your vortex is offering up, or you could be in the receptive mode of something that a feeling of vulnerability is offering up. In other words, you could be in the receptive mode of what overwhelmment offers, or what appreciation offers, or what vulnerability offers. In other words, you're always in the receptive mode. So if you just start there by acknowledging that whatever is occurring to you, whatever thoughts are coming to you, whatever manifestations are happening, they are happening in direct relationship with whatever receptive mode you're in. An easier way of hearing it is whatever mood you're in. So now let's add another factor to that, and let's call that factor momentum. And let's talk about why momentum happens. Momentum happens because you give your attention to something. You give your attention to something, and then something manifests, and then you give your attention to something, and something manifests, and you give your attention to something, and something manifests. You have it so good because you're out here on the manifesting edge. You're out here on the edge where whatever you've got going on is showing itself to you moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. You have no excuse to be oblivious about what your vibrational countenance is, because the things that are manifesting around you are evidence of what it is. There's two ways to know what you've got going on vibrationally and how law of attraction is responding to it. The first way is it's manifesting. The second way is you can feel it. We'd like the second way to be the first way. You can feel it. So the reason that we are talking about the rumble strips is because if you are aware of the way you feel, and you sort of kind of like that feeling, so you focus there, it will become more and more and more and more and more. You could take any thought of minor importance, and you could focus on it and bring it to a place of momentous importance, and it would manifest in this day. Every single one of you could do that with anything that is important to you. This is the power of the universe that you've got working with you. This is the power of the focus of source energy that you've got working with you. You have tools at your fingertips. You have the energy that creates worlds flowing through you, you see. You can be or do or have anything, but you've got to break it down in some way that you know that you are doing it. So we would suggest that you pick something, that is of some importance to you, and you decide that you're going to focus on it until you can show yourself in one day. You can show yourself how the momentum gathers around that subject in one day. From the point of just being able to talk about it, to the point of feeling good feeling emotion about it, to the point of really feeling excitement about it, to the point of it manifesting in one day. You can do that. And you do it all the time. That's what's so funny about this conversation. You do those things all the time. You just don't know that you're doing them. And so you don't give yourself the credit of focus. Don't argue for your limitations, and don't take score of what is. Spend more time in the vortex. What do you think's in there anyway? It's really funny. Here's this vortex, all ripe and ready and really eager. And you're over there saying, I don't see it. I don't see it. And we say, that's why. That's why. You got to look where it is and feel like it feels. If you feel that something is lost where you stand, and you believe us at all that there is a vibrational version of you, then look in the direction of this vibrational you and describe it to us. If you feel lost, what does found feel like? If you feel confused, what does clarity feel like? If you feel poor, what does richer feel like? In other words, you got to look where you think you are. So look there and describe that for just a moment and stop the other. I would like to be a clear example of someone who struggled hard and tried harder than anybody, and then figured out that the trying was what the problem was, who just sort of relaxed into my own sense of goodness and success and well-being. And the words that we can feel pulsing in your being is, and I want to be understood.
Yes.
But you got to give that up.
How?
By understanding that they can't understand you. You present yourself as you mean to be, and you don't give a rip about how they receive you. And so when you care about how anybody is receiving you, that's always what introduces the resistance and doesn't allow you to get the momentum going. That's always what it is. Now we know, we keep offering words like don't give a rip and don't care, but there's also this thing called law of attraction, or this being an inclusion-based universe. There's no resistance. So you can't not care, because in the not caring, you're caring about what you're not caring about. So when we say just don't care, just don't give a rip, we're not giving you anything that you can use. We're just telling you why it isn't working. But what does work is turning your attention to what does feel good. What does work is turning your attention toward the things that you can find pieces of. You've got to reach the place where you accept that it's easy, and then it will be easy, and then you got to say to everyone, whether they're willing to listen or able to hear it in the way you mean it, it was easy. It was easy because the energy was already there, and the momentum had already been gathered, and the stuff was already aligned. It was easy because I just had to do one little piece. I just had to relax a little. I just had to trust a little. I just had to believe a little. I just had to try a little less hard. I just had to stop justifying and rationalizing and defending. I had to stop the struggle and the effort and the defense and the blame. I just had to stand and let it come, which meant I had to feel worthy without justification. Isn't that just the most incredible thing? I've got to feel worthy without justification. How can I do that when I've been justifying and justifying and justifying and it hasn't been coming? That's why. It doesn't come. Your worthiness cannot be presented to you in the form of blessings that you all deserve when you feel that you have to justify your worthiness, you see. You got to give that up. You just have to find something fun to think about and think about it. Your inner being is ready and willing and able to shower you with the blessings and the details that you've been asking for. You just have to give yourself permission to ask. You got to say, I got an idea. That means I'm in the receptive mode, and that means it can be a reality. It can be a see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it manifestation. It can be. It can be all of that because I want it. I received it. Where do you think your desires come from? Because you're in the receptive mode. So when you say, I want everything, and you say, how? Just change that one question to why. Because the why will hold you in the momentum of your desire longer. The how, almost every time, will take you out of it. Whenever you ask yourself for an answer that you don't have, you lose your connection. But when you ask a question that leads you further in the momentum of your desire, it allows the momentum of the desire to go further. Did you hear that?
When my parents ask how I'm going to do that, what do I tell them?
The word why and what's it to you are similar. Why are you interested might be a good question. Why are you interested? What would they say?
Because they care for my well-being. They would like to see me more happier and more, well off.
I love that answer, folks. Thanks so much.
Yeah, but what are you going to do about it?
Why do you want to know?
Because you're sitting at home doing nothing.
But what's action got to do with anything?
How are the bills going to pay themselves? How are you going to feed yourself? How are you going to provide for your family? How are you going to do all of these things?
Well, it's not possible for my dreams to come true and all of that to not come true with it. It's not possible for me to come into alignment with all that I'm asking for and have any lack whatsoever in my life experience. Mom, Dad, you're taking score of where I am. You have to give me an opportunity to move from where I am to where I'm going. And you can't ask me for the details of how I'm going to make that transition, because that's going to come one step at a time, and you can't stand with me one step at a time. Just give me a little space and I'll show you how I'm going to do it by doing it. All that is good to anyone comes through inspiration, and my inspiration must be allowed to flow. And I am so exhilarated about what's coming for me and how good you're going to feel about it. And I love how much you love me. And I want you to know how much I love you. But you gotta let me just have some space where I can prove to myself how this all works. And I'm right on the brink of it. I can feel it. I can feel that things are moving and that the energy is flowing. I can feel that things are ready to pop. I can feel the inspiration percolating within me. I can feel ideas flowing. But I'm doing it in a way that you have not done it, or maybe most people have not done it. I am no longer going to be so action-oriented that I only allow myself the mediocrity of life. I'm reaching for something that is bigger, and that takes big dreams. And big dreams cannot be explained at the outset. They have to be allowed to gestate. They have to be allowed to evolve. And you get to witness what the true power of the universe is. You're going to get to watch me translate my vibrations into thoughts and my thoughts into things. And I'm not going to explain one bit of it to you along the way.